Hello, Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Samurai 8, Chapter 14. When we last left our heroes, the fight with Atta reached a stunning conclusion as Daruma finally had recharged enough after Hachimaru held Atta off long enough that Daruma could do some incredibly powerful attack that completely destroyed Atta's body, only to learn that Furuta is still dying, and Atta's body was only a replica that he had sent after him instead of going himself. Meaning that Atta's still alive and is now promising to come for Hachimaru personally, but not before he reveals the 7 brothers he's been talking about all through this fight. And they're black-haired clones of Hachimaru, or maybe Hachimaru is a clone of them. Details are not really set in stone yet, because that's how the chapter ended. So let's jump right on into chapter 14. Multiple Hachimarus. We open right where we left off with Hachimaru's gang watching the screen that Atsu's put up for them. My brothers? Yes. My name is Ikkaku. I'm your oldest brother. And Hayataru, meows at the screen, which I love is, the only actual, vocalized dialogue on that panel. And then Ikkaku continues, "It seems the professor did not tell you anything." The professor? The defeated man lying on the ground, and we see Furuta in his breather mask. Translator page, unfortunately placed. We are the 7 children he created. We aren't his real children. He's just the professor. And now we finally have our chapter title, Chapter 14, Father's Secret. 7 Hachimarus make an appearance. And Hachimaru looks at them, or rather, the 8 children, it seems. Excuse me, it's easy to forget about you. Not that I'm liking this development. There unfortunately being 8 of us. Your existence is entirely accidental and superfluous. 8? Superfluous. That's right. And we see that might be a samurai soul, or it might be a fetus? I'm not quite sure. It's some kind of root thing, with I think their nascent souls in there. We are the 7 samurai, created in order to open the box that needs 7 keys to be unlocked. At least we were supposed to be. Unfortunately, your birth, the birth of the eighth key, destroyed the balance. And we see there are 7 souls that are all clustered together and large and kind of seem to be a natural part of this root. Then there's this little baby soul at the bottom. That's listed as anomaly in their diagram. Because of you, the power of the 7 keys has diminished. Hajikaku, unless and until you return that borrowed power to us, your 7 brothers, we cannot open the box. That's why we need you. Well, obviously once you do that, you'll die. So I guess that kind of is setting up our main conflict for the series. So I will say, my first thought here is that the 7 brothers are kind of like an Akatsuki, you know? And each of them kind of their own arc where they're after Hachimaru, much like the early stages of Shippuden. But the difference is the Akatsuki members were all very varied and diverse, whereas these guys are all kind of the exact same person. So I'm not quite sure that's how it's going to work out. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do with them at all. Anyway. I might find out more if I actually read the fucking chapter, you know? But your initial existence wasn't in the plan at all, so I'm hoping for your understanding. That would be ideal. Even immediately after creation, you were the only one that died, after shamelessly leeching off our power like that. So that's interesting. Then Hachimaru died at some point. Look at it like that, if you will. Compared to us 7, you clearly didn't turn out a success. So maybe Furuta took the seemingly dead Hachimaru and kind of nursed him back to life, and that's why he was on the life support system so long. We need to eliminate you, because you're the only thing standing between us and the plan's success. You must be joking. This is a Daruma who's finally cut in. You're saying that you're trying to open Pandora's box? An Atta enters the frame again. Now why would you think that? No, they meant the mandala box, master. I don't know what the difference is there. But he has an image of a godlike figure, which I think might be a Kala, and then a cube with, a cube and a sphere, both with 7 points. There are 7 little flames there. Though a cube would actually have 8, so maybe the sphere only needs 7. The sphere, I think, is Mandala's box. Because that's the one that Daruma focuses on. Uchuzuma School will have both of them. And then, same as the ancestor warrior god Akala, we will become gods and rule the universe. Once we've taken Hachikaku, we will return this universe to its proper state. We will start with erasing you Vajrayaksa people and the other 3 schools. And after eliminating every living thing in every galaxy of this universe, we'll start anew. So we're 14 chapters in and we've already reached a god complex villain. Alright. Do you think Hannah would want that? Look at yourself, betraying us like this. So, another hint of the shared history between them. The one who betrayed first wasn't me, but God. So you're going to become one yourself? Who was the one saying God's name in vain now? And as the screen buzzes out, Atta, you've lost your courage. The next time we meet, Master, you will lose everything. I have something for you to remember me by. You would do well to accept it. Daruma thinks, to remember him? As the screen finally fades out into nothingness. Furuta finally wakes up enough to speak. Hachimaru. And Hachimaru, switches attention immediately back to his father. Dad! And he, stops for a second. Hakamichi, do you think Dad can take the trip to our house? I can move him, yes. But why? The life support system I'd used is still there. We can hook Dad up to it and save him. Worth a try. Anne! What? We're gonna fly fast. I know it's scary, but I need you to just hold on tight, okay? I will. And then all of a sudden it starts to rain. Which maybe is what Atta mentioned by something to remember him by. Because Hakamichi, as he notices the rain, it's raining. Flying with a patient in these conditions is too dangerous. No way! Let's look for the nearest hospital instead. So maybe this is Atta's way of killing Furuta. No need. I won't make it. Dad! I knew once I'd triggered the device I would die. That's the flaw of my design. And Hachimaru looks at him, heartbroken. Foo. They were right, you know. I tried to create perfect beings. Gah! Stop talking! Hachimaru, please listen to me. Everything they said is true. And Furuta looks at Hachimaru. Just once, I tried to kill you. And Hachimaru is in utter shock. If I'd killed you before returning your power to the 7 children, they wouldn't be able to open the box. And you have a flashback of Furuta with little baby Hachimaru. Hachimaru's head is maybe this big, which I think is really small for a baby. And he looks in shock. But I couldn't do it. And Hachimaru's little tiny hand has grabbed his finger. I let you live. At the time, I knew nothing but my experiments and my loneliness. But something had stirred in me. Something special. So I took you and ran away. And then hid you away on this planet. I pretended to be your father in order to protect you. That's why I kept all this a secret. But in the end, I did neither of those things right. Everything was just a bluff. I'm sorry. And Hashimaru looks down and lays his hand on Furuta's chest. What are you calling a bluff? You're way more powerful than any samurai, Dad. And Furuta closes his eyes. Forgive me. I shouldn't have kept you in the dark about all this. But at least I'll die an honest man. No! I still haven't done the filial piety rituals, right? Right? So you have to... There's another bit of world building we know nothing about. This is enough. The real thing tying you down wasn't the life support machine. It was me. Saying you needed to be protected because I wouldn't believe in you. In your dreams. And the things you can do. And he flashes back to the hand on his finger. But you were always strong. Always such a strong boy. And he flashes back to what might be his own childhood as a black-haired boy Who'd want to fly on this thing? That might have been first as a kid, I'm imagining. Did he have... Was that part of Hachimaru's backstory we've seen? I don't think so. I don't know. Don't confuse me with some brat who likes flying on those things. Oh, it was like some show I think he was watching, right? I don't... my memories are a little vague there. You were always trying your hardest, so that I wouldn't worry. And even in the fight with Atta, you truly are a samurai who protects people. And he stops talking. Everyone stares down. I think he's dead. I think he's passed. I think this is it for him. It's me. No, it's not. I see down here he has another line. Never mind. It's me who's sorry. I've been causing you pain for so long. With my selfishness. With the way I was always a spoiled brat with an attitude. Or no, so the speech bubbles here look like they're pointing towards Furuta. But I don't think he's talking. He still does open his eyes again. With the way I was always a spoiled brat with an attitude. That's why life with you was so fun. Or is this Furuta? I can't quite tell who's supposed to be talking here. I don't know. I think maybe that's why is Furuta. That's why life with you was so fun. I'm really happy that you are my son. And he takes his mask off. Dad! And he grabs Anne by the hand. You protected Hachimaru. And he places her hand on Hachimaru's hand. Having someone you want to protect is surely a sign of life well lived. And Hachimaru is crying as the tears, as the rain masks his tears. And I can't tell if she's actually crying or is just sad. Hachimaru, become stronger for this girl's sake. And then protect her. And then protect the galaxy. Can you stop Atta, Hachimaru? And Hachimaru presses his hand on top of the now, 3-hand pile. Gotcha. I'll give it a try. Now, Hachimaru, do the filial piety rituals. Here, I must go. And Furuta finally fades away. Hayataro howls, and Hachimaru weeps over his father's body. The journey to fulfill the oath he swore in tears is starting now. Okay. So, this was a big chapter. We got a lot happened here. It was a lot of exposition, I admit, but it's kind of... It didn't really feel like bad exposition, if that makes any sense. It felt like, they stuffed it into the first few pages, so the rest of it, once Atta goes away, could really be devoted to these final moments between Hachimaru and Furuta. And so while the exposition is interesting, and it does seem a little early for a I want to be God villain, but maybe this isn't planning on being as long a manga as Naruto was. But yeah, we got our first villain is already I'm going to kill everybody, which is one of those, how do you escalate beyond that moments? And maybe we're just not going to escalate beyond that. Maybe Atta's it. And we're not going to have the old Naruto trick of there always being a villain behind the villain. I don't know. Anyway, the real crux of the chapter, though, is Fur's death. Which is great and really well written, and you can really feel... If there's one thing this series has been doing right, I think, it is the relationship between Hachimaru and his father. It is really, really well done. And this chapter is really all just focusing on that relationship, and it works really well. It's some great stuff here. And you can really feel the pain that Hachimaru is going through of his father, fading away in front of him. Furuta, admitting that he's not been great, as much as Hachimaru tells him he has been. But, Furuta is feels very guilty over the whole trying to kill him thing. And now he's putting his faith in Hachimaru. And maybe Anne. I'm not sure. Anne is still a character I'm fairly questioning how I feel about her, what her role in this whole world is going to be. But this chapter isn't really about that, so I'm not going to focus on it. It's about Furuta and Hachimaru and their relationship and its ending. And it does that job admirably. Even if the rain is a little melodramatic. You know, it just randomly starts raining as he's dying. You know, it's kind of on the nose. But beyond that, this is a really good chapter. The relationship between Hachimaru and Furuta was really, really emotional, really poignant. Is really good. So yeah, I don't know if I have anything else to say beyond this was a great chapter. So I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe or, you know, do whatever makes you happy, you know? And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!